إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brothers and sisters, we have reached Hadith number 5 and the 40 Hadiths of Imam Nawawy rahimahullah ta'ala. And this Hadith goes on the authority of al-Mu'mineen of Abdullah, Aisha radiallahu anha, qalat, on the authority of the mother of the believers, this title, mother of the believers, it is a title that is found in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself refers to the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So any wife of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she has this title of being al-Mu'mineen, the mother of the believers. And along with that, there are certain rules in Islam specific to the wives of the Prophet ﷺ. But in short, this title, Al-Mu'mineen, it is a title of honor to show them, to show people that these women, the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, are different from other women in general. Abdullah, this, whenever you see Abu or meaning father of or mother of, this is something that is unique to Islam, and in particular unique to the Arabs. It is referred to as a kunya, and it is different from a laqab, a nickname, and it's different from the birth name that a person has. And it can show many different things. The most common thing is being named after your children. So usually it is the oldest child, the firstborn child. The father is referred to as Abu such and such, meaning father of so and so. And the mother is Fulana, Fulana. Even when you take the name of your child, some people, they take the name of the oldest child. Others, they take the oldest son, the firstborn son. So even if there's other daughters that are older than their son, then they take the son's name. And these things, basically, they're not set in stone. There's many different reasons or ways that a person gets a kunya. Another way is that the word, the kunya, shows that this person, quality of theirs. It shows a quality of theirs. For example, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, his first name was actually Abdullah. His first name was Abdullah, his kunya was Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr did not have a son, a child named Bakr, but it refers to him being full of energy. The word Bakr in Arabic, it refers to a young camel with a lot of energy. Same thing with Abu Hafs that we mentioned before. And sometimes a person might have a kunya, a name that they just happen to like. And there are many different reasons. For example, with Aisha radiallahu anha, she never had children. She never had any children. Yet here we see her having the kunya Abdullah. And the reason why she took Abdullah specifically is because her nephew, Abdullah bin Zubayr, is named Abdullah. So she is taking the name, using the name of her nephew as her kunya. And this shows the close relationship, and it shows another way for people to have kunya. So kunya is not something that's set in stone, it's more cultural, but it is an aspect of Islam that has come from Arab culture. رضي الله عنها, may Allah be pleased with her. قالت, she said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم, may Allah be pleased with him, said, من أحدث في أمرنا هذا ما ليس منه فهو رد. Whoever innovates or introduces something new in our affair, that which is not part of it, فهو رد, that it is rejected. It is rejected. رواه البخاري ومسلم. Imam al-Bukhari and Imam Muslim collected this hadith. And in another narration of this same hadith, because sometimes hadith, they have different variations, certain slight changing in the word. There's another version of this hadith, وفي رواية للمسلم, من عمل عملا ليس عليه أمرنا فهو رد. Whoever does a deed that is not following or what we are upon this affair, then that deed is rejected. So you see how the hadith in some way almost work like the qira'at, the different qira'at in the Quran. We have 7 well-known ways of reciting the Quran. All these 7 are authentically traced back to the Prophet ﷺ. And one of the beauties of having different qira'at, just as an example, is that each qira'ah, it adds beauty to the Quran, and it helps us understand the Quran in a better and in a more complete way. So the same thing is the same thing can be applied to hadith. For example, we have 2 versions, slightly different wording in each hadith. First one is man ahdatha fi amrina hada, whoever innovates or comes with something new. The other version of the hadith is man amila amalan laysa alayhi amruna. So this is in terms of action. And if you combine them, you see that there is no excuse whatsoever. If a person tries to come with something new and claim that it's part of the religion, then it is not accepted. Similarly, if a person is not coming with something new and they say, I did not come with this, but I'm just following this Imam who came with something new, so I'm just a follower, I'm not innovating, then even that is rejected. So there's no way to try to come with something new in Islam, whether directly or indirectly. This hadith is considered to be a cornerstone of the whole religion because it acts as a barrier, it acts as a separation from giving the authority of speaking about the religion to anyone other than the Prophet ﷺ. And for some people, they might think that it's a trivial matter. So what? What does it matter whether the Prophet ﷺ is passing on the message or someone else adds something good to it? And those people, they fail to understand that the Prophet ﷺ is a prophet because he has a mission. When he speaks, it is not like the speech of other people. وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Meaning that the Prophet ﷺ does not speak out of his own accord, but what he speaks is revelation. So this makes the Prophet ﷺ the only authority when it comes to the religion, because the Prophet ﷺ's task is to convey, إِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ. Upon you is just to convey the message. So the Prophet ﷺ, you'll see, he never asked for any reward when it comes to the message of Islam. The Prophet ﷺ spent all his life after becoming a prophet spreading and propagating the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until the moment he passed away, until he died. When you look at the comparison of the Prophet ﷺ against others like Musaylim al-Kadhdhab, who claimed to be a prophet, what was the first thing that he said? when he sent a message to the Prophet ﷺ, he sent a message saying that I am a prophet just like you. We will divide all the kingdom, everything between yourself and myself. This man, Musaylama al-Kadhab, his focus was on this Hayatul Dunya, and this showed him him to be a liar, because the focus of the Prophet ﷺ was never in this world. People that even came to the Prophet ﷺ, they said, if you want kingdom, if you want wealth, we will give you. If you want to marry the most beautiful woman, we will line them up in front of you. But the Prophet ﷺ, he refused, and he said, if you place the sun and the moon in my right and my left hand, I would not leave this religion. And this is echoed through the companions of the Prophet ﷺ after him. So this hadith is so important because it shows us, just like Imam Malik rahimahullah ta'ala, one of the great scholars in Islam, he put it in the most beautiful way for people to understand this hadith. He said, every single person, every single person, their speech, some of it will be accepted and some of it will be rejected. Because the speech of people is opinions, right? If you give an opinion, then I have the right to give my opinion as well. You are a human being just like myself. Perhaps you might be more well-educated, but it does not stop me from educating myself and then giving an opinion, right? But when it comes to matters of the religion, Imam Malik, he said, except the companion of this grave, and he pointed at the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. Because Imam Malik, if you remember, he's in Medina, he's in the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, in close proximity to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. So he is pointing his finger and saying, except the Prophet ﷺ, meaning that when it comes to the Prophet ﷺ, as believers, we do not have an option, because the Prophet ﷺ is truthful. And the message that he's passing on are the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Azza wa Jalla mentions this very clearly in the Quran, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَن يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ. That it is not befitting for a believing man or a woman that after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam have decided on a matter, for them to have a difference of opinion. Because when it comes to what is clear, we follow that. So the Prophet ﷺ, he made it clear to us that this religion is complete. Another point to really illustrate and make sure that this message of innovation, that we understand how dangerous it is the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the Prophet ﷺ, الْيَوْمَ أَكْمَلْتُ لَكُمْ دِينَكُمْ وَأَتْمَمْتُ عَلَيْكُمْ نِعْمَتِي وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا. Which basically means, today I have completed, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has completed his favor upon mankind. And he has chosen, he has been pleased with the religion Islam as a religion for mankind, for creation. Okay, so the religion is complete. This is not what I am saying. It is not what the Prophet ﷺ is saying. This is a direct quote from the Quran, the speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if as Muslims we believe that the religion is complete, something that is complete cannot be, you cannot add something to it, okay? If I give you a cup of water as an example, and the cup of water is completely full, and I come and I pour some more liquid, some more water into that full cup, what happens? the cup will overfill, it will spill, it will make a mess. Why? Because the cup was full to begin with. So if you come and you pour something into something that is complete, it will ruin it. Similarly, if a cup is half full, not complete, and you add something to it, then you've done something good because you've added more water to a cup that was in need of more water. Now, when it comes to innovation, scholars in Islam, they've said, you need to specify. There's two types of innovation. There's innovation in terms of the dunya, the world, meaning technology and things like that. Innovations in terms of worldly knowledge. And then there's innovation in terms of the religion. When we as Muslims emphasize and stress to people saying that innovation, bid'ah, is something bad, people often say, well, if you want to live like the Prophet ﷺ used to live, then sell your car, buy a camel, and use a camel. Don't use electricity because it is an innovation. It was not there during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and so on. The phone that you have in your pocket, the laptop that you use is all innovation. So if you want to have no innovation, then you have to leave these things. And the answer is simple. Those people have failed to realize the distinction between the two types of innovation. Innovation in terms of technology, is it good or bad? Simply put, it is good because technology, it keeps increasing. Is technology or our understanding of the world, is it complete? No, it's not. We keep learning new things and it adds to our knowledge and we improve our living standards and so on. So when it comes to the world, there's nothing haram as long as it does not clash with Islamic teachings to benefit from knowledge and technology. But what we are talking about and what this hadith is referring to specifically is fi amrina, in our matter, which is the religion. So anyone that comes with a claim, and they might have the best of intentions, but if they do something other than what the Prophet ﷺ did, then our first question should always be, did the Prophet ﷺ used to do this? Did the companions used to do it? If it's in terms of the religion, then we know that the religion is complete, so we follow in their footsteps. We do not innovate, but we follow in what they did. So again, it does not matter in terms of the intentions. Some people might say, well, I have good intentions, it's Fajr time, I'm young, I'm healthy, I have the strength that I need. Instead of praying 2 rakat Fajr, let me pray 4 rakat. Then we say, no, stop, follow the Prophet ﷺ. And this, alhamdulillah, it is a concept, an idea that many Muslims are starting to understand the importance of. Because if you leave it open, then anyone will say anything, right? You'll open the Quran, and people will give their own opinion, and they'll say, well, I think this verse means that, well, I disagree, and so on. But if you have a centralized authority, like the Prophet ﷺ, who is explaining what the religion means and how to understand it and how to implement it, then it gets rid of any of the noise or any of the confusion that might otherwise happen. So this is something that is very, very important. It is a cornerstone of the religion. Some of the scholars have said that this hadith equals a fifth of the entire religion, khums of the entire religion. So you can see how important it is. The very fact that the Prophet ﷺ is referring to the religion, the whole religion, as amrina, as our affair, it shows that it is something that really matters to the Prophet ﷺ and consequently to Muslims everywhere. So just from a phrase the Prophet ﷺ said, fi amrina, he could have used any other word. He could have said fi dinina, he could have used any other word, but he said fi amrina, in our affair. This shows that for a Muslim, Islam matters wherever you are, regardless of where you are in the world. If you live, let's say, in a place far away from the Muslim world, you still are involved in Islamic matters. Part of Islamic matters are caring about the Muslims. When you hear that Muslims are being killed, being persecuted in other parts of the world, far away from where you might live, you don't think, well, that doesn't bother me. That is happening, across the globe, and it is not my affair to worry about. I worry about myself. No. The fact that you are a Muslim makes you part of the Ummah and makes you part of caring for others. So this hadith not only touches on the authority of the Prophet ﷺ and the importance of following the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ, but also it shows us how important, how valuable this religion was to the Prophet ﷺ and to the companions. When you have something of value and you realize the value of it, you will keep it safe and you will try to protect it, right? But if you don't value it, if you think it's something that has no value whatsoever, you don't care. When you are out with your children and your children are young, right? You care for them. You want something good for their future. You look after them. You protect them from harm and danger and so on, to the best of your ability. Why? Because those children are valuable or have value to you. Similarly, anything that has value, especially something as important as the religion, you will want to protect it from people who might abuse it, people who might speak on behalf of the religion, when in reality the religion is free from them. And the way that the Prophet ﷺ, the word that he uses, he says, فَهُوَ رَدْ, it is rejected. It shows that it will never be accepted. Meaning that for some people, yes, some people might go astray, but the Prophet ﷺ is telling us with certainty that this will never be accepted. So it gives reassurance that there will always be a group of people who follow the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in the right way and in the way that the Prophet ﷺ wanted us to follow. So this hadith, even though it is very short, it has many benefits and the topic can go on and on. But inshallah, we will keep it brief and we will actually stop here and we'll move on to any questions that people